my cushion ready this time so that I'm not like an old lady like last time and complaining about my back the whole way through the video, because nobody wants to see that. Nobody. Hi guys, welcome back. So today is January favourites time, which is crazy. I don't know where January's gone. It's a little bit insane. It's crazy insane, actually. It's just kind of shot past, I don't know why. But yes, it is that time where we talk about our favourite products. Some people have favourites, some people don't have favourites. Obviously, if you don't have favourites, you don't have to watch it. No one is holding a gun to your head, as far as I'm aware. So yeah, if you don't like favourites, then obviously this is not the video for you. But if you do, stay tuned, because I have some of my beauty favourites sat right next to me. And I would say I thought one particular product that I got for Christmas would be here in my favourites. And it's not. And I will explain that, I think. Having said that, there is something missing from my favourites. Hold on, I'll be right back and get it. Ugh. I'm just go down the stairs. Okay, now we're good. Now I have everything. Ugh, I'm gonna do a go upstairs. Yes, so obviously if you like favourites videos, please give this a big thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for new videos every Tuesday and Friday. Fridays is going to be a little bit different. We'll see what you think. But yeah, without further ado, let's get this party started. It's not a party. First of all, I'm filming this on Monday. Second of all, it's gold. Third, it's dry January, so there's no party. So let's just start talking about these products. I've had far too much caffeine today. Okay, so I'm going to start with a couple of like skincare type bits, and both of these are kind of sample sizes that I will more than likely be purchasing full size versions of, because I flippin' love them. I have been finding with like cleansers that I've loved before, like my Oskia Renaissance cleansing gel, my Clinique Take the Day Off balm. They're brilliant at removing makeup, but they really agitate my eyes, which is obviously not good. I've obviously got sensitive eyes. But there's a couple of products that I found recently that don't actually do that, but still do a really good job at taking off my makeup. And the first one is this tiny little bottle here. This was a sample and I do need to purchase this because I loved it. It's the MAC Cleanse Off Oil. I've always kind of shied away from oils because I have sometimes had oily skin in the past, but this is so good. It just breaks everything down, like liquid eyeliner, no worries, see you later. Waterproof mascara, done, wasn't even there. Like, this stuff was actually amazing. I really like it, and I would definitely purchase the full size version. I need to do it because I am definitely missing this in my life. It's so good. And then the other one is the Estee Lauder Gentle Eye Makeup Remover. This, I mean, I do use it on my eyes and it's good for like today where I'm wearing just quite a natural look. It's looking very pink, which is very unlike me. For like if you're not wearing anything too heavy duty, too like full on or dark or liquid eyeliner, it's not as good with. But one thing that this does really well is remove really matte, high pigmented, long lasting lip products. So if you saw my MAC lipstick video earlier this month where I tried out their 10 top bestsellers, I did like clips of each one, of me wearing each one, and this was a godsend throughout that video, because other ones where I've done before, where I've done lip products and stuff, I've tended not to do it because it's just been such a faff to remove it quickly and actually get everything. But this worked really well, and it is very good. The Colourpop Ultra Satin Lips, which I have been testing, and bloody hell, they last a long time. Those do not budge. And I have a couple of like brighter shades that really don't want to budge, but this takes them off really easily compared to anything else. So yeah, I really like that one as well. I think that's also quite a nice little remover. And again, it doesn't agitate my eyes, mainly because I use it on my lips. When I do use it on my eyes, it doesn't agitate them. Tools wise, you guys hopefully would have seen my first impressions on some Spectrum makeup brushes. If you haven't, I will link it in the cards here or link it below so you can check that out. You've got 8 makeup brushes in the collection. Most of them I do really like. I don't think there's one that I don't like. In the first impressions, there were a couple that I was a bit like, I don't know how I feel about this. To be fair, there's a couple that I still feel that way about, but one of them that my first impression was like, when am I going to use this? I don't like it. I flippin' love it, and it's this one. It is the A05, which is for like contour and blush, and for contour it's amazing. It's so good. It gets like exactly the right angle. It's exactly the right kind of like size and shape for me to get like contour that doesn't look like I've just put stripes on my face, you know that kind of contour. It doesn't do that, so for that it's brilliant. But also for blush, it's so pretty. It's just like, I don't know how to explain it against like what I've used before, which was the Real Techniques blush brush, which I did really like, and I was like, well, this is smaller, it's a little bit more like fluffy, I don't know how I feel, but it just applies like exactly the right amount of product. It blends it out beautifully, and it just helps it to look very kind of natural and just like a little bit flushed. And I really like this brush. I think I'm going to get a second one, so I have one for blush and one for contour, but I highly recommend that one. That one was kind of a big surprise for me of how much I've been using it, but yeah, I love that one a lot. And then the eye product makeup brush that I really love, and I did think this was going to be my favourite, is the A12, which is the pencil brush. I've not really had a pencil brush before, and I flippin' love it. I don't know how I ever lived without a pencil brush before. Just to like help smoke out under the eye, or just like go really close. I say close. If you want to do a little bit more work kind of along the lash line on the top, but you still want it to be quite smudgy, this is just perfect. It's so good. It's like the right amount of dense to smudge, but it's also, and pick up product and get a lot of pigment, but it's also quite fluffy enough to kind of really blend stuff out. I really like it, and again, I'm probably going to pick up a couple more of these just so that I have them when I'm washing and everything like that. Yeah, I love it, and this is also really good on like to do like the inner corner highlight. It's a really nice brush. I like it a lot. Now let's move on to the actual makeup products. The first one is the Colourpop No Filter Stick Foundation. Obsessed with this. I have it in the shade Light 55C. Again, I did a first impressions video on this, I think last week. It went up last week, but I did the first impressions around about the middle of the month, I think it was. So it's fine. I have been using it for more than a week. But yeah, I really like it. It's so easy to apply. I've not used a stick foundation before, so I wasn't really sure what to expect. But it's so easy to apply and blend in. It looks very flawless on the skin. I would only say if you suffer with like dry patches or dry skin, it might not be the best for you, just because my Holy Grail like moisturiser for my face, my Glossier priming moisturiser, it ran out for the weekend, so I haven't been able to like use that, and like I'm getting quite dry around my nose here, and I have noticed when I've been using this on those patches it just clings a little bit to that texture, but I haven't noticed that before, so I think as long as you kind of are moisturising and you're fine, you will be fine with this. But yeah, it's just beautiful on the skin. I love it, and it is also the longest lasting foundation I have ever used in my entire life. I think I spoke about this maybe last week, I can't remember, but I wore this up to London on, no, I spoke about it in the actual, at the end of the video when I was reviewing this for a first impression. I wore up to London last week, and honestly it did not budge. I put it on at just after 5 AM, didn't get home until like 10 o'clock in the evening, and I hadn't needed to touch it up throughout the day. Everything was still in place, nothing had even started to break away. I was very impressed with this for that, because other like really high-end foundations that I've tried that are like, yeah, in 24 hours, I'm gonna stay all day, blah blah, they didn't even do that. So I am obsessed with this, and for the price I think it's a real steal. It's really good. I like it a lot. I do like the other one, but this one is my favourite out of the two. And then, you know, as we were talking about blush earlier, I have a new blush favourite, and I'm obsessed. It is from The Body Shop. It's one of their all-in-one cheeks, and it is in the shade Macaroon, which is this really beautiful kind of neutral peachy shade. This is definitely for somebody who doesn't really like blush, doesn't like to wear a lot of blush, but they just want to have like a little bit of colour on their face. This is magical. It's so good. I haven't really used anything else since I picked this up back in like December, and I love it. It just looks, as I said, just looks very natural on the cheeks. It's not too in your face. It's like exactly the right kind of tone for me. I really like it. It lasts really well. It blends beautifully. It's very affordable. I love it. And actually, because this is a little bit smaller than other blushes, that's probably why I've been enjoying using this brush so much, because it's like perfect to get in there. But yeah, I like it a lot, and I used it on my Get Ready With Me last week. I've got some more Get Ready With Me's coming up, and this will probably be used again because it is the only blush I'm using right now. Obsessed. Let's talk about the eyes. And we're going to go back to Colourpop, but one thing I do want to say, I got the On The Run palette from Urban Decay for Christmas, and I very, very much thought that was going to be in my January favourites. It's not. And it's not that it's not a nice palette. There are shades in there that I love, that like I really like using, and yes, it's a nice palette, but for the price there's too many inconsistencies for me in there. Some of the metallic shades you don't need to like put anything extra in, you can do it very easily. But if you saw my Fate Decides one with that palette, I'll link that as well, you would have seen how much I had to work to get that purple shade Guilt Trip to be as pigmented as I kind of was expecting it to be. And I have had that with a few of the metallics. Half of them are fine, half of them you really have to work with. And some of, like the mattes are beautiful as well, they're great, but some of the dark ones, they're a touch patchy, but some of the other ones are absolutely fine. And there's a lot of kickback in the palette, and like usually I'm not bothered about kickback, but with that palette there's so much that the kickback is going into other colours, and that's when it does start to bother me. So although I do like the palette, the quality for the most part is there, there's way too many inconsistencies across the formulas, and the kickback really bugs me. There's a lot of fallout from those metallic shades as well. So that is something to keep in mind. That's why it's not in my favourites. Although I do kind of use it every now and then, I have been using a different palette for the majority of this month that I'm obsessed with even more. And that is the Colourpop Dream Street palette, which is in collaboration with Kathleen Lights. I've been in an about picking this up for so long, and I'm so glad I finally did. The shades in here are stunning. They are so pretty. There's so many different ways you can do different neutral looks. You have Twinkle Up here, which is a beautiful rose gold shade. It's very, very pretty. Shooting Star is like the perfect transition shade. Moony. It's just worth getting this palette for Moony. This is one of their satin formulas, which I don't think I've tried before, but this is the most stunning inner corner highlight I have ever used in my life. I think because other ones I've used before are generally metallic or glittery, and I'm like, they're fine, they're nice, but this is just, because it's satin, it just kind of makes the inner eye kind of glow and look very kind of radiant. It's very, very pretty. And Water Bearer, this really dark teal, I used this all over my lid in a video, the one I did for this foundation, and it had that on all day. I didn't need to build it up too much, like the pigment was there without too much of an issue. It lasted really well, there was no patchiness, there was no kind of creasing or fading throughout the day. It was really, really good. I was very, very impressed with that. And overall this palette is just stunning. I love it. I think it's incredible. I've been using it a lot. So for me, this wins over the On The Run palette. Yes, there are more kind of colourful shades in the On The Run palette, but you do have to work harder to get the same kind of pigmentation as you get for this one, you know? So, and then, please don't shoot me, but there is another Colourpop product. I made a Colourpop order, okay? Don't shoot me. Don't shoot me. And yes, there is lots of stuff from that Colourpop order that I really like, but I didn't want to like overkill, just do a whole video around Colourpop. But this is one of their Super Shock shadows. I've never used them before, and I do really like the formula. I want to play around with them a little bit more to see if I can use them in different ways rather than just kind of like pressing them on the lid. But the one I have been loving the most it's from the Kathleen Lights Twinkling Lights collection, and it's in the shade Glisten. It is this beautiful kind of peachy shade. I'll do a close-up so you can see it as well, but it's just stunning. If I just do like a swatch of this, I'm hoping you can see it, but it just looks really, really pretty. That all over the lid with like just a little bit of Shooting Star in the crease to kind of add some little bit of definition, maybe a little bit of Elfish from the Dream Street palette like to darken up the outer corner, and just some like liner on. It looks stunning. It's so pretty. And if you really want to amp that up, I use Magical from this palette as well. That one there just underneath there, and it just kind of amps up that real peachy shade. But it's so pretty. It's got some like gold kind of glittery flecks in it. They last really well. There is no creasing. They blend really nicely. I'm using one of them. I've used one of them on my lids today, which is Vela. I love saying that. Vela. And yeah, I really like them. I think they are really, really nice. I do definitely want to try some more of these. This is a satin finish. And yeah, this one is very, very pretty. I've been using it a lot. I really like it. And I'll probably be doing a look with using those very, very soon. Spoiler alert. And then last but by no means least, even though I did forget about it, I had to go back down and get it, is a lipstick. I have been trying lots of lip products this month because I had like the 10 ones from MAC, and then I also ordered a couple of packs from Colourpop. So there was like 7 new Colourpop ones as well. And as much as I do like some of those Colourpop ones, I've got their gloss on today, which is Moonchild. I really, really like that. It's very pretty, which for somebody who doesn't like a gloss is quite a big thing. But I have been using this shade for longer and loving it more, and it has become more of like my everyday shade, and it is Twig from MAC. I'm obsessed with this. This and Velvet Teddy were like my 2 winners from their 10 bestsellers. But this for me is just beautiful because it's a satin formula. I just love the finish. It's like the perfect kind of wintry pinky nude for me because it's a little bit darker, so it's got that winter edge to it, but it's just also very, very wearable. I love it. I usually use the Soar lip liner with it as well, just to kind of make it a little bit neater. But yeah, I'm obsessed with that. It wears really well because it is a satin finish. The colour is beautiful. It suits me very, very well, even if I do say so myself. And I really, really like it. Although this is only the little mini. Obviously not yet, but one day I'll probably do the full size. Not right now because that's a little bit excessive. But one day I will have the full size. And that is it. I hope you guys like this. Please make sure you give it a big thumbs up if you do. Also let me know what kind of style of favourites you like to do. I've done it before where it's been like my hits and misses of the months. And I think for February what it might actually just be is my favourite repurchases, because I am running out of so many things that I need to repurchase in February. So most of that will just be repurchases. So February's favourite will probably just be my favourite repurchases of the month. But for other ones, like, let me know if you like hits and misses, whether you just like this kind of like free for all of favourites, if you like it to be a top 5, let me know, because I'd love, it really helps me out and lets me see what you actually like to see. Yeah, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'm back on Friday with something a little bit different. So I hope you guys like it. If you don't, then it's fine. It's not necessarily going to be for everybody. And yeah, thanks again for watching. I hope you've had a fantastic January, and I will see you all in February. Bye. Do the thumbnail.